Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had a bad day and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild.
I would say he was unhappy. I met someone who did not smile much. Felt like he was carrying the world on his shoulders. I tried to help him, I tried to show him some brighter sides to life, but he was just not letting me. If you feel like you're at that point where you feel like you want to give up, anything that is happening in your life and you realize that you're not managing or you're not coping, seek help. Hey guys, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Stuff from the Cuffs. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode. Big ups to you. Thank you so much for watching and of course for being a part of the Cufflinks family. Of course, I'm alone today and I'll be giving you a story time, but before we get into that, first of all, I want to say huge big ups to all our returning residents, all our new subscribers. Welcome to the family. We're so very happy to have you as part of this Cufflinks family. You know, it's a growing family and we're happy to have you on board. If you're watching this video and this is your first time tuning in to Stuff from the Cuffs, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure that you turn on your post notifications, like the video, leave us a comment. We're always very happy to hear from you, right? Welcome to Stuff from the Cuffs. Also, want to take the time out to shout out another young and upcoming YouTuber like ourselves. Yes, like Stuff from the Cuffs. You know, YouTube has been such a beautiful space for the past few months. We've seen persons, you know, growing their channels. We see persons who have taken advantage of this pandemic by finding another outlet to release their creativity. And so today, from the Stuff from the Cuffs family, we want to big up the channel Shawi and Zan. They are a sister channel, sister channel, and you can find their description down below. I absolutely love this channel because first of all, they're sisters, and so I'm very close to my family members, right? So I love that they've decided to do the channel together. And one of their videos that I absolutely found hilarious was one where they were doing, well, one of the sisters, Shawi, she was doing a story time on a messy situation. So check their channel out. The link to their channel is in our description. Make sure that you subscribe, watch their videos, like, and keep supporting young and upcoming YouTubers, all right? Today's story time, I am going to be delving a little bit into why I had to get counseling. Yes. I think I mentioned it in a previous video when Brian and I were talking about living apart, but there were two separate instances where I sought counseling, not because I was recommended to seek counseling, but because in my mind and in my heart, I knew I needed a little help. So mental health awareness has been one of the topics that's much talked about, especially in 2020, especially in today's day and age. Persons are being encouraged to seek help if you need help. Seek help if you feel like you are going down the wrong path. Seek help if you feel like you just need that extra advice or that professional advice to help you along your journey. So for me, I sought help on two separate occasions while Brian and I were dating and while we were married. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about when I sought advice when we were married, because you heard a little bit about that as well. But just to give you a quick recap. So after I had Bria and I realized that I was not managing mentally in terms of my emotions, I found myself being overwhelmed by several things. Number one, the fact that Brian and I were living in separate parishes. So that, first of all, was a huge burden on me emotionally, physically, and mentally. Some days, you know, going to work, I had to take taxi because Brian had the car. Some days I would get caught in the rain with the baby. because, trying to rush to work. And those of you who know Mandeville weather, Mandeville weather stay already. Some days I was caught in the rain. Some days I was literally confused about what I was doing and how did I get here, because I've been driving since I was 18. I've had my own car since I was 18. And for basically all my adult life, I was mobile in terms of having my own vehicle. And so imagine now not having a car, plus a baby, and having to take 2 taxis to work. One day, I was taking Bria with me to work, because I had to take her with me to work some days. I was taking Bria to work, and when we came out of the taxi and I was pushing her in her stroller, a little fold-up stroller, because it was easier for me to manage the bags and my laptop and everything else I had, the front wheel or the stroller popped off.
Oh
And I'm
my
middle of
God!
Mandeville town. And is Poppy did pop off? Or no, the front handle. So she was strapped in, but she was holding on to the front handle. And I remember I was going down like a little something in the road, whatever it was. And I realized that she was flung forward, but she was strapped in, thankfully. And I realized that the front part of the stroller popped off. So now I had to take her out the stroller, because now she was crying. Take her out the stroller, have her in one hand, have the stroller in the same hand, holding it up. It was a small enough stroller. Had the baby bag on my back, had my handbag on my right hand, plus my laptop bag on my right hand. And for those of you who are mothers, you know that we really master the art of carrying load. But the distance that I had to walk between one taxi and the other, by the time I got to the other taxi stand, I was so out of breath. I was so overwhelmed when I got to work. When I finally reached to work, I went and I gave Bria to one of my friends, who always keeps her while I'm on air. I gave Bria to her, and I went in the studio and I just cried. I cried. And then when it was time to go on air, I wiped my tears, turned that mic on, and I was like, hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of The Drive, and the whole works. So my listeners literally could not tell. But having to deal with that on a day-to-day basis, having to deal with the fact that I was doing this without Brian, and having to deal with the anxiety that came with not having a car, at that point, I realized that I needed somebody to talk to. I had mommy, I had daddy, I had Brian, who, I wouldn't tell some things because I wouldn't want him to feel worse or feel bad about anything, because we knew the situation that we were in. So I decided to seek professional help. And we have a mutual friend who is a counseling psychologist, or clinical psychologist, one of them. And I decided to reach out to her. And I reached out to her and I told her exactly how I was feeling. I told her the emotions that were just running through me on a day-to-day basis, and how mentally I didn't think I was managing. And I found myself crying almost every single day. That's when I knew that this was not normal. This was something that needed an extra intervention. I knew that this was not bacillia. I knew that I needed to just get help from another voice, because, my family would assure me that it's just temporary. Everything is going to be all right. But I felt like I needed something deeper, right? And when I reached out to her, and after we spoke on several occasions, she said to me that she thinks that I am having postpartum anxiety, on top of dealing with all the other emotions that I was dealing with our marriage and with being apart and all of that. And she gave me advice based on what I was experiencing each day. She encouraged me to do certain things to try and maintain good mental health. I mean, she just walked me through that whole journey and through that whole process. And I'm going to big her up. I want to say a huge thank you and big ups to Kamala McQuinney. You know, she really helped me through that journey and helped me through that process. And literally, some of the times I felt like I was losing it. I felt so confused sometimes. I felt like I never know my hand from my foot. I felt like I just didn't want to do this. Whatever this was at the time, I just felt like I just can't bother. And, you know, at that time, I understood, before seeking help, I understood the importance of mental health. I understood the importance of seeking counseling or seeking intervention or seeking help when it's needed, or before you get to that place where you're kind of falling over the cliff. I knew that beforehand because I once heard somebody say, in Jamaica, we kind of feel like you seek counseling because you're mad, or you seek counseling because you lose your mind, or is only people who are weak seek counseling. But I'm here to tell you that you seek counseling because you want to ensure that you are on the right path. And a lot of times you don't have to wait until you feel like, boy, you're going down the wrong road to seek counseling. If you feel like something is just off and you need somebody, you need a different opinion, you need somebody else to talk to, it's fine to seek counseling. Now, the first time I sought counseling, and it was still from Kamala, it was many years before when Brian and I were dating, about 2 years into the relationship. I found myself in a place where I did not know how to help Brian through what he was going through. So Brian has shared before in some of our videos that, you know, his mother has been ill for a long time. His father was away, and I would say he was unhappy with the situations that were taking place in his life, or, you know, situations that had been taking place for a very long time. I met someone who did not smile much. I met somebody who he really felt like, or to me, it felt like he was carrying the world on his shoulders because he didn't really know how to, or he was just dealing with a lot. Let's just put it at that. He was dealing with a lot. I met somebody who did not open up easily. I met somebody who would get very defensive when I would try to inquire about, you know, his mom or how he's dealing with certain things. And so it kind of put a strain on our dating relationship because I felt like I was trying to help, but he was not allowing me to help. I felt like I was trying to show him a different side to life, but he was not allowing me because I think he was just really engulfed in everything that he was going through. So he never really gave me a chance. And I found myself being sad a lot because I realized that I trying to help him, I trying to show him some brighter sides to life, but he was just not letting me. And so it kind of put a strain on me emotionally. And most of all, I really was just trying to figure out how can I help him through this season. And for me, because you guys don't know that the Lord did tell me from before we started dating, I knew that he was my husband. So I knew that I was in this for the long haul. And I knew that fly high or fly low, the Lord did not tell me, goods, this is your good husband. So, you know, gotta stick with it. So I sought counseling because I wanted to find out how I can help somebody who is going through their situation. And in this case, Brian. I sought help because I wanted to see how it is that I could help him carry this burden, how it is that I could help him get through the season of his life. And most of all, I really wanted to know how I can help him mentally, because I know that change takes place. When it takes place in the mind, it trickles down to different aspects of your life. And so when I realized that, boy, nothing that I was trying was working, I realized that I was becoming very unhappy because he would just lock off on me or turn off him phone, him no want to talk, and he just wanted to just pretend like everything is fine when I knew that it was not fine. I knew I needed a little additional advice. And so I spoke to Kamala again. She knew of the situation, it's Brian's friend. I met her through Brian. And she was able to give me tips and give me ways in which I could relate to him in a language that he could appreciate. I remember sometimes I got very upset with him when he would say something like, Mom is going through such and such right now. And my response would be, I understand how you feel. And he would get upset like, no, you don't understand how I feel. Why are you saying you understand how I feel? You've never been in this situation before. And that got me upset because I'm saying, I'm trying to help you, sir. Where do we suffer? I'm just trying to help. And then I realized that in my bid to help and in my bid to be compassionate and empathize with him in the situation, I was probably doing more harm than good based on my wording. And so those are some of the things that Kamala helped me with in terms of how to approach the situation, how to, word my responses, how to help him take his mind off different things, she gave me the whole 9 yards on how to help him through that season. And, a lot of times we find ourselves in situations where it may be somebody, we may be caring for somebody who is ailing. We may be dealing with a partner who has mental issues. We may be dealing with somebody who, is going through a difficult time. And as friends and as family members, you want to be there for them. If it is that you realize that you can't do this alone and you're not making any headway, it's okay to seek professional advice. I have known of a lot of people who they were probably dealing with somebody or in a relationship with somebody who, was just going through a tough time, but because they have never experienced that kind of thing, they did not know how to help that person overcome and help that person get through that season. And so for me, I used other people's examples or other people as examples, and I went ahead and I sought counseling as to how I could help him through that situation, or how I could help him to get over certain things, or how I could help him to just see the brighter side of life. Because really and truly, growing up, I've never experienced things like that before. I've always been this happy-go-lucky basilia. I've always been on the happy side of things, thank God. And so when I met Brian, and it was a totally different kind of socialization, a totally different kind of growing up, it was hard for me because for me, I was used to, I was used to just living life, enjoying life, not having to worry about certain things. And I remember at one time, I sought the advice of somebody who was close to me. And I asked the person, I told him about the situation and I asked them for their advice. And the advice that I got was, you don't need that in your life. You don't need that kind of burden and that kind of, stress, emotional and mental stress. You don't need that kind of thing in your life. And when I heard that, I was like, I started questioning a lot of things in my mind. Do I really want to take up this burden? Do I really want to, press through this season? But again, chum didn't know say Brian was good mind. I pressed through. And when I realized that I could not do it on my own, apart from praying and seeking God and all of that, I realized that I needed to take it a step further. And that was to get professional help for myself so that I could help him through his season. And so if you are watching and you are probably in a similar situation, it does not have to be relationship wise. It could be something with a family member. It could be something going on with a friend. It could be, It could be just about anything that is causing you emotional or mental discomfort. If you feel like you need to take it a step further, take it a step further. If you feel like you're at that breaking point, if you feel like you're at that point where you feel like you want to give up, you want to throw in the towel, it could be something to do with your finances, because that's a huge issue that persons grapple with. It could be you're at a crossroads in your life and you don't know where to go. It could be anything. Anything that is happening in your life and you realize that you're not managing or you're not coping, seek help. Counseling is not for people who have been diagnosed with different things. It's not only for those people. Counseling and seeking professional advice is for everybody. Mental health is something that we don't talk about much, especially here in Jamaica. But I want to encourage you to take that step to protect your peace and to protect your mental health. Those are 2 reasons why I've sought counseling before. And my reasons may not be your reasons, but it's a reason just the same. If you need help, seek help. All right? Thank you for watching another episode of Stuff from the Cuffs. I'm Basilia. Brian will join me in another video. Make sure that you subscribe. Don't leave the video before you subscribe. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you leave us a comment. Always happy to hear from you. This has been another edition of Stuff from the Cuffs. Blessings, love you, and I'll see you soon.
Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had a bad day and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day.